first thing I can remember making was a puppet. We did puppet shows with our neighbors. And I actually remember like painting the face and cutting out the hands and just having this concept for the first time ever of thinking about the way you want something to look and then creating that yourself. You know, it's much different than just in your imagination, which I was the only thing I'd been used to working with at that point. But then when you want to make something yourself, you realize that there's this whole learning curve and there's this whole boundary between your imagination, your mind's eye, and what you can actually create. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything that I've ever created that matched my mind's eye. So at a certain point, I just decided to do away with the mind's eye part of it and just accept that the process of it is more interesting and more fun than actually trying to match your imagination with something. I saw myself as an actress, you know. So that's what I really wanted to be, you know, was making movies, you know. And so that was my dream, but it's not as if like I've let go of my dream or anything, you know. I feel like now I'm actually having that life that I was really admiring on stage or on screen or wanting to play on screen, and now I'm just kind of living it, and that's a really amazing feeling for me. To be honest, when I started out, I didn't even know other knife makers existed. I always loved knives, but it wasn't like I was following a lot of knife makers and thought, oh, I want to do that. It just was kind of something that I knew. You know, I was learning at the same time, but it was just kind of something that came really naturally to me. Sort of bizarre that this is actually something that is very close to where I come from, and it made a lot of sense for me. The first knives I ever made were not functional at all, but they were amazing looking. You know, I look back at those and I think, wow, I was so naive. Like, what did I know about knife making? Like, that was never going to cut anything, but it was just so beautiful. It was so special. I think for sure the most challenging thing throughout has been like just letting go of what other people think about what I do or what I make. And I mean, that's just something that, you know, I've had to do from the get-go. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be here. You know, I would be trying to please everybody, and it's impossible. You cannot. It's tough to have to push myself. And like a lot of people, I'm sure I work better under pressure. So if I'm getting an email from someone, yo, where is my knife? You know, I've given you all the space that I can. I mean, that's what I need though. I need to be able to have a lot of creative freedom. And you know, I'm also really hard on myself. Like I always deliver, you know, I'm never gonna leave somebody hanging, least of all myself, you know, because I don't think I have the heart for it. You know, I can't deal with that kind of criticism from myself, you know, to feel like a failure. And for me, like a failure is not being able to show up for myself. But certainly there are times when it's very difficult to make myself stay out here. And that's always the time when I end up getting hurt, you know, as if your mind is just somewhere else or you're not really feeling it and you just want to be doing something else. I just go do something else for a little while. And then I realize, oh, it's not so bad actually. And so, you know, it's kind of this atmosphere that I live in right now is something I've been sort of working on creating since I was 7 years old. People always ask me, do you miss being an actress? Yeah, sometimes, like there are some parts of it that I do miss, but the energy is no different. It's the exact same thing for me. I'm expressing myself in the same way. It doesn't look the same, but it is the same. So I do feel unbelievably fortunate to have that drive and to have that passion and to have that belief in myself, or you know, to allow myself to pursue that. Yeah, I like being my own boss. I like what I'm making, and I like the challenges. You know, I've learned a lot by making mistakes, but also just because I've kept it very close to myself, and I've had to just figure out how to fix things, or how to learn how to do things, learn how to build a website, learn how to, you know, all these things that a lot of people may come to that the other way around, like conceive of a product and then figure out how to sell it. But for me, I just started creating a product and then figuring out, you know, how to fill in all the other pieces. I'm this thing, whatever it is, knife maker. I can do this. This idea that, you know, the knife is never really finished, because, you know, when I send it off, that's just the beginning. And I have no idea what people are doing with them in their kitchens, but I mean, I can only hope and only imagine that, you know, it's offering someone a choice to choose something that, you know, they invested a lot of money and time into having it created for them, and that it's just, you know, that it's something that's just theirs, and it's there to support them in a healthy lifestyle. You know, cooking food for their friends, for their family, for themselves, was something that has, well, hopefully to them, has this incredible backstory. You know, it's not like something that they just bought with one click or something from a sponsored ad. Like, they had to discover this thing. You know, they were involved in creating this too. So I love thinking about that. And I love when people send me pictures of when they're eating or when they're cooking, and I can see my knife in action. That's really great. Yeah, it makes me happy.